Keri Glassman. Welcome to your most nutritious life. Today I am with one of my friends, Natalie Jill from nataliejillfitness.com. You may know her. She is a guru in functional fitness and body weight home workouts, master guru. Go check those videos out. Today, however, we're not talking much about fitness or nutrition. Some of you know that in my nutrition school, I talk a lot about branding your business. Today, we're specifically going to be talking about branding through social media. And when Natalie, Jill, and I met, something right away that we talked about was how I grew my business and my brand through the more traditional way. When I started my business, I had a nutrition office out of actually a personal training studio. Facebook, Twitter, these things weren't even around. I hope I'm not aging myself. I'm not that old. But these things weren't even around. So I really built my business in a traditional way and then sort of learned a lot about social media after. I'm still learning a lot, by the way. We're always learning. But when I met Natalie Jill, she had sort of a completely opposite experience. She actually started her business in social media and is just a marketing guru as well as a functional fitness guru. So just got a lot to share. So first of all, I love your story about how you actually started your whole career really in the social world. So fill us in on that a little bit.
I actually started my business initially away from fitness and nutrition in the traditional brick and mortar business doing medical device sales. That's what I always did. So nutrition and fitness was always a hobby of mine, but same thing, didn't know anything about social media, just traditional forms of marketing. That was what I knew. And it wasn't until I had a transition in my own personal life. I was going through a divorce and I was becoming a new single mom, and I was
been there. We've both been there. We talked about that too.
As you know, it just plays on a lot of emotions, and I was definitely going through a depression. It was a rough time financially, every aspect of my life. And it was during that time that I really lost interest in corporate America and what I was doing. And I was really just trying to find myself again. And I wasn't even thinking about a business long term or switching careers altogether. I just knew I wasn't really interested in what I was doing. I didn't feel that there was a purpose or a passion behind it. And at that time, I had also definitely gotten out of shape. I ate a lot when I was pregnant, and I ate a lot after. I had found comfort in food, and I had gained a lot of weight. I wasn't really working out anymore.
And going through a rough time, emotional eating.
The whole thing.
We all have been there too. Yeah.
So I started. When I hit that rock bottom place and I thought, I've got to turn this around, I've got to change, one of the things I did was I decided, and I always say that you have to start every transformation with deciding. I decided that I was going to be the person I knew I could be one day eventually, and I thought the first step is really just watching my nutrition and moving my body more.
Was there one specific moment that sort of that you made that decision?
Yeah, I remember on a walk with my dogs and the stroller and being really sad and thinking if anyone that saw me right now would be envious of my life. They would think, oh, you have the perfect life. Why are you upset? Like, you have this house and a nice job and the dogs and the baby. And I remember thinking, I feel so fake right now because I don't feel good and I have what appears like this perfect life, and I'm just depressed and sad, and this is not where I want to be. And I remember catching this reflection of myself in one of those windows that looks like a mirror, and I just didn't even recognize myself. I had things hanging on me I didn't know could hang.
Right.
I remember just feeling really sad and depressed, and when I got home that day, that's when I had that change around and thought on, wait a minute, this doesn't have to be who I am. I can change this. And I started making a vision board, and that's really how it started.
That's amazing. So did you actually at that day make your vision board and make a decision?
I made a day.
I love that.
And I made a decision to draw a line in the sand, and I'm going to start. And nutrition was a big thing. And what's funny is Facebook was really just starting then. I didn't even understand it. I had some high school friends on Facebook. It wasn't this big marketing thing or social thing.
You were saying hi to ex-boyfriends. You weren't creating a monster brand.
And I started taking pictures of food on I had one of those BlackBerry phones.
Right.
And I take pictures of my food and I would post it, and this is what I'm eating today, because I'm learning about nutrition and fitness at the time. And what happened was something I didn't expect. I started getting a huge support system through that. Not just supporting me, but I realized it was helping other people. So it started to naturally build and evolve because I was posting, being real, sharing my food and what I'm doing, and people were supporting and asking questions. And that was the start of my business.
Wow, all through the BlackBerry phone.
Yeah. And Facebook initially.
And Facebook, that's amazing. That's really incredible. Okay, so now let's fast forward a little bit. How have you, or how did you take your marketing skills, I should say, and apply them to fitness and to social media aside from just Facebook? Like, how did you then really grow it?
As I was sharing food and just being my real self, what happened was I realized how many other people were struggling with the stuff I was struggling with. Right. And as they were asking questions, I was just helping them find solutions. So everyone would say, well, these recipes are great. Can you put them together in a recipe book? And that was the very first thing I did. I didn't know anything about making a recipe book. I didn't know anything about stylists and food photographers and all of that. I just took my BlackBerry pictures and made a PDF, slapped a $10 price tag on it, and I sold it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny. Food photographers, food stylists out there are saying, oh,
it's embarrassing now looking at what
I did. It's not embarrassing, but it's
though.
not embarrassing. That's what I'm saying. I think it's amazing that it was just pure passion, pure, it was pure you. It was pure, what you were going through, and people love that. Then they loved hearing the story. That's amazing.
And then from there, people would ask, well, gosh, how do I put this together in a diet? Because your body's changing too. Like, how do I put this in? So I remember I sat down one weekend and I wrote what's now my 7-day jumpstart plan, which was just basically what I did about the vision board and my goals and moving and eating unprocessed food. And I did that in a weekend. I made that. I don't think I even proofread it.
I've just thought, I love that you sat down in a weekend, and I'm thinking about those hours that I was sitting there slaving over books and edits and edits and edits. And I mean, but it really shows you that it's just, being you and being pure and being real and showing people what worked for you. I love it. I love that.
So I put it out there, and it took off. People were buying it, and they would send me their stories like, oh my gosh, I loved the 7-day jumpstart. I lost 5 pounds, blah, blah, blah. I feel great. My energy, no bloating, whatever. And I would say, can I share your story? So they'd say, sure. So I'd say, oh my gosh, look at Sarah, she lost 5 pounds, blah, blah, blah. Yes. So it made more people want to do it. So it was being really real and authentic. And that's what the first lesson I always tell people about social media is, it's not about having this master crazy strategy and plan to trick people. It's not about that at all. It's about truly being yourself, sharing good information, offering solutions to problems, and building what your audience is requesting. If they're saying, I want more of this, that's how you build your social media. It's not working against that, it's working with it.
Yeah, I think you always do a really good job at that. It really, because you've reminded me of that a lot, of really like asking people like, hey, what do you want to learn from me? Hey, what do you want me to help you solve? So I think, you do a really great job there. I have to ask you about your program, Pinfinity. Because I know that of all social media platforms, that's specifically one platform which you really love, Pinterest.
Totally.
And I know you have a whole program there. So fill me in there.
So Facebook was the first place I started, and I started literally with a few hundred people. I now have well over 1 million there. And then I moved to Instagram, and I've been on every platform, but not really. I didn't have a clear strategy on all of them. I've just spent time on each one at a time, learning it. And what frustrated me most about Facebook and Instagram and most of the social media platforms, Twitter, the others, is that everything is there for just a minute. You post something and it's gone later.
Right.
Or you post it and you're waiting and you're not getting the likes or comments. And you're like, was this a bad post? Do I delete it? Or you have a winner post and you want everybody to see it, nobody's seeing it, or it just goes away, and then you have to start all over the next day with something new. So it was this constant, like, I need new content, I need better content, what do I do? And what I found I really loved about Pinterest and YouTube, there's only two, was that they have what I call the content value over time. So you post something and it gets better over time. So where I would put something on Twitter and it's gone 2 seconds later, I could put it on Pinterest and it grows and gets more views over time. So I really got interested in Pinterest because I thought if I could focus here, it's going to take me less time and the stuff's going to get better. It's just a no-brainer.
See, you're efficient. You're a girl after my own heart with your efficiency.
I want to be efficient.
With your workouts and your social media. I love it. Efficiency. Okay.
So then I figured out, well, if this content stays around and gets better over time, if I put great stuff on Pinterest, how can I use this to attract more people to my other social media sites and to my business, to my website, and to help in that same way of helping people? And that's what I figured out. So I coined it Pinfinity because think of an infinity.
Right.
Like it goes on, and I'm connecting the other social medias and my brand. So if you look at my Pinterest, I have a decent sized following there. It's not the numbers of Facebook. However, I would say I get much more business to my website, much more traffic. I've grown my other social media sites all because of that. So I present a program.
And that's also really key, I think, because so many people just look at the numbers, how many followers, how many likes, how many this. They're just looking at those numbers.
Yeah.
But really, like, you know, when you're growing a business, you're looking at it from a business perspective. Forget about the actual numbers. What is it doing to my bottom line?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really big important point. It's not just about, you know, like the comments or the likes. It's really about, like, if your goal is to build a business, where are you going to help? You know, it's not necessarily the sexiest post or the sexiest place to be. And I don't mean sexy from like a sexy, I'm saying like, you know, from a glossy thing. So, and I think that's a really, really, really good point, because people so often, you know, go to the latest social media platform that they think is like the hottest, or all their friends are on, or, you know, what they think is happening at that moment. But really, like you said, you have to really look at it from a much bigger perspective. So
I'm a fan of all social media. I'm on a lot of them, and I'll continue to be. But I would say, without a doubt, Pinterest saves me time. There's a much better strategy. My content gets better. It's helped. My Facebook went from probably 200,000 to well over 1 million when I started implementing the strategy. So there's a lot of variables, but that was a major player in this.
Okay, so your amazing Pinfinity program, I know people can go, and there's actually a lot of information in the link below, so you can check out Natalie Jill's Pinfinity program. But can you give us a little bit more info in there into what is that strategy?
Sure, it's basically it's an online academy. And I take you through everything from branding to setting up, like, who you are, what you want to be, then setting up your account. So if you're a beginner, just what do I do here? How you name your boards, how you, the kind of images you need, how to make them yourself if you want to do that, how to link it to other stuff, especially on sites like Facebook where you're not supposed to be. You can't link, there's no way to link to Pinterest. I show you how to do it in a way that's legal and fine. It's not against any rules or anything, it just works. I show you how to get your YouTube views up. I show you how to do everything that you need, whether you're just starting on there or you want to revamp it. I really walk you through everything, and it's all done on videos where I'm just talking to you, but I'm also doing screen flows where, if you haven't seen those, it's recording my computer. So I show you as I'm actually making a pin or naming a board.
Take people step by step.
Yes, so you can literally build your Pinterest and rebrand it while you're doing this academy with me.
Oh, that's incredible, because I think so many people also become intimidated, and they become intimidated not just by a new platform, but like by the time and the energy it takes to do a whole new thing. So I think actually I love that, because now you're just really taking someone through step by step. You know, you do your Pinfinity program, okay, boom, my Pinterest will be set up. But it actually leads me to another question. In terms of time and new content, how do you have the time, or how do you, I guess, manage your time? Because I know you like to be efficient. How do you manage your time with all the different social media platforms, and knowing and scheduling and organizing which content to go where? Because I know, I mean, for me, I know that's a huge challenge. And I think especially a lot of people out there where you have a digital business, and so many people out there, though, that have a traditional business but have to be in the social media world. Organizing all of their social media and content is so overwhelming and time consuming.
Yeah, I would say it's just like you would tell somebody that's trying to get in shape or lose weight for the first time or get healthy. And they say to you, gosh, there's so much information out there. Where do I start? Like, it's overwhelming. You would say, just start and pick something, right? Just start adding. So I'm going to say the same thing. You have to just start and pick something, and not look at everything as this big cluttered mess and this big weight on you, and just think, okay, I'm going to start first with establishing who I want to be and who I want to reach. Just start with that. And then you can go back towards stuff you've already have or what you want to create, and fill in the spaces there. But to go and take everything you have and try to just make it work is not the best strategy, I feel. So it's instead, decide who you want to attract, who you really want to be, what your goals are, the questions you need to ask, and then fill in the content from there.
I actually have a specific question about Pinterest, and you might talk about this in your academy, but when you're pinning, how much are you pinning your own new stuff, putting your own new stuff on your boards versus going in and pinning other people's things?
I really don't pin anybody else's stuff unless there's a specific reason or something I really like and want to share. Because it really is not helpful to you or your audience or anything. Now, if I find something that I'm like, my audience has to see this is incredible, I will share it to my board, but most of it is my own stuff.
So we know if you pin something else, we definitely should take a look at it, because it's something you feel strongly about. Okay, because I think people do. They also join Pinterest and they think about that. What am I supposed to be pinning? And I think people that
just doing that with no agenda is. I always say less is more.
Okay.
do meaningful ones, important ones, and
Okay.
leave it at that.
And like you said, they build over time. They only
Yeah.
get better. So that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about building your business in social media, branding
Oh
yourself
my gosh,
with social
there's
media?
so
that you
much I
wanna
could
share?
talk on and on and on, but I will tell you that if you do sign up for Get Pinfinity, if you become part of the academy, I will give you my free, especially if you go through the link below, I'll know, and you can get my free branding book, which helps also with
amazing.
how to
Love that.
brand yourself. Helps it all.
Incredible. I love it. Always so much to learn from you. So fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right. Check out the link below so you can learn more about Pinfinity. And thanks so much for watching.